Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Weekly Pint. It's not a show. It's a happy hour. That needs to be known right off the bat. If you're new here, this is just an excuse for us all to hang out together and to have a drink together. Which, if you are taking part in the way that is proper, the rules for this are that you hang out and you chat with everybody like a proper happy hour. You take part in the conversation. The easiest way for you to do that is to wherever you happen to be listening to this, you can get on the chat and you can do it there, which a lot of you are already doing. Some of you are going to hopefully join in a second, but and then I will drop it all on the screen here so you guys can see what everybody from all the other platforms are saying. There is another way, though. There is a fun way for you to take part if it's not typing, and that is by calling in, which you can do right there. I moved one of my screens up high, and I don't like it. But there's the phone number right here, 567-70-DRINK. It's 567-703-7465. It is it's the original drunk line. It's the drunk line before it was built for drunks, I guess. But you can call in that way. You can also take part in the chat, though. That is probably the easier way, which as people start typing here, it should start popping up right there. But that's the real gist of this, is we're just going to sit and drink together. I'm finishing a beer. This is Sunday Fun Day from Sonder. It's a raspberry lemonade ale, and it's good. It is definitely, it's not what I want out of Sonder. The things that I love the most from Sonder are their lagers, their sour series, and then their barrel-aged stuff. And this is fine. It's good. It's a really good, like, summer crushable beer. Shout out to Danny. He left this for me at Big Sis in the cooler there. At least I assume it was for me. I took it. So that's what I'm drinking. Let's see what everybody else is drinking. Caroline, I didn't do that justice. Marco can fill you guys in on how you're supposed to pronounce her name. But she is drinking a Krampus Cole from Westside as prep for her recording session, for their recording session. Her and Joe do a show called Craft Parenting Podcast. Is that right? Craft Parenting Podcast. And I guess they're doing something where they're going to drink some Krampus Cole. Marco is getting to-go food and having his truth. And then, let's see, Joe is drinking Holiday Ale by Westside. Don't tell the Shift Beers crew or they might have a heart attack, as it's older than 5 minutes. Didn't they just release their Christmas beer for Christmas in July? Let's see. Shout out to the shirt, Goldfinger, one of my all-time favorite bands. Let's see. Julia is drinking Blue Slushy Cider by Down East Cidery. All right. Steve is drinking Amber Ale Altiora by 13 Below, which is great. Josh is drinking Lost IPA from Burley Oak in Maryland. Derek is also drinking a Truth, but not to-go food. Joe said they did, but draft only for the holiday ale. Well, you can get crowlers and growlers and things like that. There is definitely something about, if we can kind of switch topics for 1 second, there is something about Christmas beers that they do work really well over time. The spice definitely starts to fall out after 6 months or so, but sometimes that makes the beer different in a good way. You can do that, and it's just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Let's see. Joe says he was bummed they couldn't go. Joey says they are drinking a Coors Banquet, the best macro lager in his opinion. We did and this has been a few years, we did not specifically macro lagers, we did light macro lagers, like the Bud Lights and the Miller Lights and the Busch Light and the Coors Light and all of that. We did all of the macro light stuff, and the winner was Busch Light, I believe, if I remember correctly. I don't even think I took like notes or anything. I think we were just doing it for shits and giggles. So I could be wrong on that, but we are definitely due to do that again with just kind of the bigger category of macro loggers, just because I'm curious and I want to make a video about it and really figure out what's good and what's not, because some of those beers are very terrible, and some of them I think are probably okay. And I'm curious to know which are which. I'm going to kill this because I want to crack open another beer, and I'm going to have you guys tell me what I should drink, because I think that's kind of fun. While I'm drinking this, you guys start telling me what it is that you think we need to talk about tonight, because there are some big topics that happened, I guess, this week, kind of in theory, that we could talk about. I have label approvals we could dive into. There's all kinds of fun stuff. So while I drink, you guys tell me what I should be talking about. Okay. Nobody said anything. At least hasn't popped up yet for me. There is a little bit of a delay, so grab a clean glass. Julia says, labels first. We do have a nice little backlog of labels that we could talk about. Caroline wants to know who's going to be at BC's tomorrow. I will definitely be at BC's tomorrow. I wouldn't miss it. Although I shouldn't say. I hopefully will be at BC's tomorrow. I do have a work thing in the afternoon, which should in theory be wrapped up in time. But and Julia says she's going to sit that one out. That's fine. We'll do it without you. I finished. So speaking of BC's, that was this week's Cincy Brewcast. Hopefully you guys have all listened to it. If not, I encourage everyone to listen to it. It was a great episode talking about some of the big things that they've got going on, like the fact that everything is changing in a good way, but everything is changing. And I won't spoil too much other than the fact that they're turning into a brewery. So there's that. So we got that show. That's this week's episode, which was really, really good. And then next week is already, I shouldn't say it's done. It's recorded, ready to be finished. Once I get it time to sit down and edit and get it all ready to go. That was with Moeller Brew Barn. Just another really fun kind of different episode. I don't get a chance to talk to places like that. There's Moeller Brew Barn has been around since 2015. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but they've been around for a while, and because of that, they've grown to a certain size already, and now they're moving into Cincinnati, and it's fun because they're already a successful brewery, so they know what they're doing. They've got, when you go up there to the original location, which the last time I was there, it looked nothing like it does now. They are already successful. They have this path laid out in front of them already, and it makes it really interesting to talk to them about coming into Cincinnati with that already behind them, if that makes any sense. I don't want to spoil anything. Let's see. Greg says, listen to the BC's podcast. Great interview. Interesting that Walt's Hitchin' Post will be next door and food options will be from there. It was interesting. There's a lot of very interesting little nuggets in there that make you start to kind of think about a lot of stuff. Okay, so you guys have to pick a beer for me before we dive into these labels. As I'm buying time while they all download onto the iPad here. All right, I have two very different options, both good beers that I don't mind drinking, though. I have to sneeze, too. Hang on. Nope, not coming. There it is. All right. Now we are good. Marco just says Busch Light. That is not one of the options. Julia says, without spoiling the episode, do they know what kind of mark they want to put in the Cincinnati craft beer community? Just a yes or no, so there's still plenty to listen to next week. I think yes and no, if that's a proper answer. I think they definitely know who they want to be, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they know exactly how that's going to go over time and where that path is going to take them. But they know who they want to be. Very clearly know who they want to be. But it is a big kind of vision. Choice number 1 from High Green, if it'll get into focus here. It is not. No focus. Whatever. This is a Tipper, their Spruce Tip Pale Ale. Pale Ale, Spruce Tips. That's all you really need to know about that one. Or you guys know how much I love Pilsners. This is Drew Pills from Brink. Also not in focus. I must have something set improperly on the camera one. Julie says, don't even see the second one. Go Spruce Tip always. Well, we'll do that then if nobody else is voting. Yep, do the Spruce Tip. There's 2 votes. We'll take it. I'm sure that I've had this one, but I can't recall. So Drew Pills is delicious, says Caroline. That would have been a fun one because it would start that same old conversation about beers in a tap room versus in a can done by a contract partner, because that beer in that can right here, this beer is not the same beer that I fell in love with in the tap room. We'll just leave it at that. It's fine, but all right. Spruce Tip Pale Ale. It's kind of a wintry beer, right? Spruce Tips reminds you of a Christmas tree. It's a terrible pour. It's actually not too bad, but there's definitely a lot of head going on there. Nobody? Anybody with a joke? All right. While that's settling down, let me read the can. We are 5.5% ABV. And it says, I can never read properly in the studio because of the way the lights are in here. It's supposed to be kind of moody and some drama with the lights, and it makes it hard to read things. It says spicy, piney, light. Shout out again to places that do things like that. I think Urban was probably the first place that really did that locally, where they just put those 3 kind of descriptors at the top of the can that kind of just give you what you need to know. Spicy, piney, light. It's made in celebration with Cincinnati Nature Center. This pale ale was brewed with fresh spruce tips, handpicked by friends, family, and volunteers. I assume that the friends and the family were also volunteers. So friends, family, volunteers. All right, let me get my nose into this thing and see what it's like. Caroline says you can get a headlamp to be like the old folks reading menus at trendy restaurants. I have one in the other room. I could bring it. Before I can beat that before I drink the beer. My stepdad, who is a great dude, but he is also very old in his soul, or very old. When he goes to restaurants, he has these little reading glasses that he pulls out. They're like little fold-up reading glasses that fit into this little case that he keeps in his pocket. And the actual reading glasses have 2 little lights, like right here on the glasses, like 2 tiny little flashlights, so he can read his menu with the lights and the reading glasses. It's kind of, it's kind of amazing, but also very, very old. I could definitely see people rocking a pair of those. Or Marco. I could see Marco doing that too. Yeah, this isn't too sprucey. The hops are still coming through big and bold. It's got a good fruity kind of hop character going on. And Joe says, "Is that the dad that gives you underwear for a white elephant gift, or is that your father-in-law?" That is my stepdad, the one that yes gave me underwear. Also, he's given me some of my favorite Christmas presents ever. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example. We got one year, we got body armor, like a bulletproof vest body armor, like with metal plates and stuff, just in case, I guess, the liberals attack, I think is probably what his actual explanation was. Lots of Nerf guns. Man, I can't think of all of the good examples right now. Justin says underwear is the best gift in the world. It's not just underwear. Hang on. I'll be right back. I got to show you these. I will show you the underwear. They're on a shelf out here. Hang on. All right, all right, all right. It's important because it's not just a pair of underwear. It is a pair of emergency underpants. And I wish that my camera was focusing right now. It is a little tin, like a little tiny tin that he says you're supposed to keep in your glove compartment. In case of an emergency. At the top, again, I hate that this is the one day that this isn't focusing. It says, emergency underpants. One pair fits most adults, always ready to use. And on the back it says, safe, sanitary, secure. You pop the little top, and inside there is definitely a pair of just mashed in underwear. I don't want to take it out because you'll never get it back in there. But for emergencies, it is a real thing. So that's that. Lots of just goofy crap like that I don't know where he gets it or what makes him think of it. But he is dead serious about things like that they are important and we should definitely have them. Whatever. Anyways, let me get into this beer. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good. It's not. It's definitely not too sprucey. I've had spruce tip IPAs that just get overwhelmed by this like sticky, sappy, spruce kind of character. And that's not at all where this went with it. It's sweet, and if you didn't tell me spruce, I don't know that that would have been the first thing that I picked out. It would have been just kind of some kind of happiness, and I like that. It's a really good beer, really well done. Yeah, we're gonna enjoy drinking that one. Okay, let's let's dive into the labels because I have a nice little stockpile of labels because I haven't done them for probably close to a month at this point. So that's usually kind of when it gets the most fun is when we have a lot to go through. So we will do that now. In theory, if I can. There we go. So we're going to start with Cartridge. Cartridge has, I believe the last time we actually did get to labels, we saw some more from them. So, again, anytime that we see one of these Cincinnati breweries that we've already seen their packaging released, all of a sudden have all of these labels coming through at the same time, usually means that very soon we'll probably see them headed into a different state, probably Kentucky, since Indiana's state laws are such a pain to distribute there. It usually means Kentucky because it's the one of the biggest Cincinnati suburbs. So Cartucho, their Mexican lager, awesome beer. I have been preaching the gospel of Cartridge and where they're at right now for a while. And I hope everybody's paying attention to that because they're making some really great beer. I did see on, was it Facebook or Twitter or somewhere, all of a sudden, after a very, very long hiatus, a post from Richard Dubé of many local places, be it Moorline Lager House. He helped them launch when they started. He was obviously Braxton helped them get started. He's been teaching brewing science for a very long time. Just a brilliant brewer. And this weekend he gave them a huge shout out in that he said the direct quote was, they are making the best true to style beer in the city right now. If that doesn't mean something to you, it probably should. Let's see. I've been missing something. All right. Support groups for Joe. That was what I'm guessing. What is it going on? I actually need those. You guys broke the chat. It's okay. It's all right. I'm just trying to stay caught up and make sure I'm not missing anything important. If there's something important, just say it like 9 times, and I'll catch it. So Cartucho, there's not a lot to be said about this beer. It's a Mexican lager. You guys hopefully have had Cartucho, but the important thing to notice with this is that we have labels coming through, which probably means Kentucky distribution, which means a bigger push into distribution than we've seen from Cartridge. That is there's a couple reasons for that is probably longer than we have to talk about on the Weekly Pint, but it's exciting. It's good stuff for people that like the beer, which everybody should like the beer. This is another one of their big sellers, Escape, the Pina Colada wheat beer. I freaking love this beer. This is a go-to whenever I'm in the tap room. This is one that usually makes its way into a crowler for me to get home, or a 4-pack of cans, depending on if they have them available and they're in the tap room. Just super, super good beer. Perfect for summertime. I don't need to tell you that this is a perfect pool beer. You can figure that out by the fact that it's a Pina Colada wheat ale. What else do you need by the pool? Esoteric is another one of those ones that we had been seeing some labels popping up very fast and heavy, we'll say, for the last couple months. And they just announced that they are, yes, moving into Kentucky, so you'll be able to start finding that. Divine Matrix, they have, in the last few months, there's only been a couple new beers that we've seen move into cans. This was one of them. The other one is probably coming up next. It is the Illuminati, their lager. Still have not tried this one, but I'm excited to do it. Inspired by the beers that built Cincinnati, this lager is crisp and crushable. We'll see. I'm excited to try it. Pilsner and Vienna malt, crystal hops. Sounds pretty freaking good to me. But I still need to try it sometime. Every time I try to grab it, it's not in store. John says, now I just need Third Eye. I do not anticipate that you will see Third Eye in Kentucky until the new facility is open. That's my guess. Hanover Winery. I don't do wine labels that often. If they're local, I'll pay attention to them, but I know that not everybody gets super excited about wine labels. This is Hanover Winery. They're out in Hamilton-ish area, like out there. They have a lot of wines that they name after dogs of theirs. This is Malbec Jack. So I just like to kiss the dog, basically. And I do like going there. If you haven't been to Hanover, it is a fun time there. Very, typical for a lot of wineries. You go and you sit outside by some kind of water and just drink wine until you get silly. This is another one of those carbless canned cocktail things. We talked about them whenever the last time I did labels was. This came out just probably the day after those ones, but it's been sitting in the folder for a while. I still hate the font on these cans. I still can't read it. I can't tell that it says carbless. Carbless is a silly name until you say it out loud, and then you get, because it doesn't have any carbs. A tequila cocktail, margarita. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's any good. if we can even get it here. That's the other hard thing. This is an impact beverages label. So think Taft's, the Taft's contract business. So some of those aren't even distributed here; they're just made here. So there's that. Same thing here. This one sounds delicious just because it's orange and it has a picture of an orange on it, and it's orange and white. It seems more tasty. Joe says, "Get out the headlamp with the lights to read the label." Caroline says, "I also read it as Car Bliss," which is very confusing. Thank you. Justin said, "I thought it said cannabis." Not yet. Although I assume that as soon as that is able to be done here, that you will see it come out of Taft's. This is the original Skinny Crush cocktail. Skinny Dewy Crush Orange. 4.5%, made with vodka and triple sec. It's probably good. It's a ready-to-drink cocktail, vodka and triple sec, fresh crushed orange juice. How do you crush orange juice? That doesn't even make sense. Lemon lime soda. So it's Sprite, orange juice, vodka, and triple sec. Okay, whatever. It is probably tasty. 120 calories. Or whatever. This is I forgot who this is from. This is a whiskey from this is one from Myers Wine Cellars. That's what it is. So if you don't know about Myers Wine Cellars and how big they are and how much stuff they're cranking out, I probably need to write an article about them sometime to kind of give you an idea of how much they are doing and how big they are. They just got purchased not that long ago. Joe says, "Summer's practically over. Is that already out?" It is not. It probably, or if it is, we're not going to see it. It's probably pretty far down the line. It might be even next year that it's going to be produced. A lot of those contract things, they're not in a big rush to make them once they get the labels approved. It's like the labels come way, way, way before they actually go into production, usually, from what I've kind of noticed. This is Old Hickory from some kind of stamp series. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I don't know who it's actually produced for or where you can get it. It is the R.S. Lippman Company. I don't know anything. That's what this little this is probably on the neck of the bottle, whereas this is the actual label kind of around the bottom, I guess. Who knows? Justin says, "I think one of the brewers I trained works at Myers." They do so much stuff, really, really a ton of stuff. We're going to start throwing these in here, Moeller Brew Barn, because they are now going to officially be local. Not to spoil next week's episode of Cincy Brewcast, but they did say that they are hoping to be open as early as possibly August-ish. I always throw the ish in there because I know how things work. But this is their Oktoberfest, their Märzen. In fact, if I might even throw them into this year's Oktoberfest Quest, if I see this around town, I'll snag some and go ahead and throw it in there. I like them. We'll see how they fit into this culture here in Cincinnati, if they're able to kind of figure out a way to become part of it or not. We'll see. Knox Joseph, this is a vodka, My Girl Pearl vodka. Vodka is probably the least exciting spirit you can possibly create, and I don't really care too much about it, but it's a local product, and I'll give it a try. Caroline says, "Oktoberfest season is almost here, though I know it's showing up on shelves now." Yeah, I'm starting to stock up and get ready for Oktoberfest Quest this year because it's going to be pretty nuts. I did mention before in a post, if anybody missed that, if you are a brewer or a brewery owner here in town and you do not package your Oktoberfest, if you package it and it goes into cans and it goes into stores, I'll get it and it will be in the competition. If it doesn't, and you want me to add your beer into the competition, you have to get it to me somehow. I'm not going to go out there and I'm not going to chase it down, and I'm not going to try to run to every brewery and get the ones that are on tap. If you're desperate to have your beer compete with the other beers, you got to figure out a way to get it in there. That also extends to homebrewers, though. If you are a homebrewer and you think you make a good Oktoberfest beer or a great Oktoberfest beer, you can enter it into the competition. You have to get me a little bit, and we'll enter it in there. But know that most of these Oktoberfest Quest showdowns are done either live streamed. Sometimes they'll make it into Instagram Reels. Sometimes they will make it into weekly pints like this. They might make it into a YouTube video. Who knows? But a lot of them are done in a very public fashion. And if you give me an Oktoberfest beer that sucks, I may be nice about it, but people are going to know that your beer sucked. So, yeah, that's that. Justin says, I hold it in my mouth and I spit it into your mouth. No, that's not a way to get it to me. I'm not going to accept that as an entry. My goodness. Julia says, how many different font styles can fit on one label? Are we talking about the Oktoberfest? Or are we talking about this one? Let's see. Let's see. This is fun. We're going to Rheingeist, their barrel-aged series. This is Mashushu, but it is a blackberry Mashushu. Mashushu. It's very hard to say. Dark ale, aged in mixed barrels with blackberry chocolate flavors and vanilla, not actual chocolate. That's interesting. It's probably still delicious. It doesn't matter if it's flavors or not. I like that we're starting to see some other Mashushu variants because I freaking love that beer. It's really, really good. So I assume that the flavored versions will also be pretty freaking good. Speaking of other flavored versions, this is maple peanut butter Mashushu with maple peanut butter, chocolate flavors, and vanilla. Yes, give me all of that. I am really, really, really curious to try that one. I love a well-done peanut butter beer. The problem is that there are so many out there now that are just not. They taste like some kind of weird Play-Doh thing, and I don't like that. I still love Nutcase a lot. Justin says, I haven't been big on Rheingeist, but that blackberry sounds good. I am way bigger on Rheingeist now than I think I've ever been, just because of the barrel-aged side of who they are. Between the traditional barrel stuff like this and the sour series, man. Justin says, now I'm mad. I hate peanut butter. You don't have to drink it. You can drink the other one. This is another Rheingeist one. This is called Night Glow, a fruited sour. So this seems like a kind of a wintry sour to me. It says it is a nightcap-worthy blend of cherry, citrus, and subtle spice. Sounds good to me. I don't know what the spice is, but it sounds wintry. I don't know why, but I'm curious to see this artwork on a can. I don't know how I feel about the pink thing going on. I don't know if that's an artwork thing when it got transferred over, or if that's really what it looks like, or who knows. It could be. Who knows? Sometimes you can't tell. Sometimes weird colors like this are actually like clear, see-through into the aluminum of the can. I don't know if that's what that is, or if it really is that pink color. Oh, we'll see. Here's another Rheingeist. More Rheingeist. This one's called Terror Bird Imperial IPA. I don't know a lot about this. It's made with Cascade, Strata, Simcoe, Columbus, and Centennial hops. So just a big, giant, super good Imperial IPA. We know that they do these well. If you haven't had Knowledge, if you haven't had Odd Job, beers like that, they're good. And I assume that this kind of fits right in line with those. So, or obviously Sabertooth Tiger. Still going with the Rheingeist. Rheingeist is a whole bunch. Tropical Satellite. This is from the Outer Reaches series. This is their sour stuff that I was talking about, the barrel-aged sours, which I think are just incredible. And this one is aged in rum barrels with pineapple, coconut, and lime. Yes, yes, yes. Give me all of that. That is definitely right up my alley. So, Tropical Satellite. I think that's one that I think that the keg collar for this might have come through like a last month, and I think I pulled it because it sounded so good. If I remember right, I could be wrong. This is another strange one. This is Turtles Brew. This is a company that just popped up in Westchester. They're doing these Turtles Brew things. The Bourbon Lovers Tea. It's bourbon with natural and artificial flavors, certified colors, caramel color, all kinds of... It's supposed to be cherry lime tea with bourbon. I don't know. This could go either way. This could be delicious. It's probably great. It's probably okay. It's probably something. But it could be absolutely horrible, too. Looks like a Capri Sun art. Yeah. So a portion of all of the proceeds from these go to saving the sea turtles. I don't know how they're saving them. I don't know what the organization is that is helping them save sea turtles. They don't give you a lot of details other than just saying it saves sea turtles. There's not a lot on their website right now. They're brand new. Social media, they have some stuff, but it's basically just them hanging out at Jimmy Buffett recently. Marco wants to know anything on what the breweries in the area are doing with or around a Blink. I haven't seen anything. Here's another Turtles Brew, raspberry peach tea. Man, I hate the Turtles Brew. I hate that brand. I'm not a fan of the artwork. It looks fake and artificial, and I don't know. Speaking of tea and weird things, Twisted Tea Light. If you thought your Twisted Tea was too heavy, here is a light version for you to pound. These are 24-ounce cans. This label, they have smaller ones also, but this is Twisted Tea at its finest. 24 ounces of light tea. And Caroline says, it looks like what I would buy when I was 21. I assume you're talking about these. Oh, Lord. Here's the smaller cans of Twisted Tea. This is Twisted Tea Light half and half. So your Twisted Tea lemonade, we'll see. Caroline says, does it pack the same punch? Any can pack that same punch if it's swung properly. Oh no, they all down there. There we go. Twisted Tea Light Peach. So more flavors. I assume there's going to be some kind of light variety pack is what we're looking at here, because there was another just plain light in the smaller cans like this. Twisted Tea Light Raspberry. Man, this is what it's become. Oh, Lord. Okay, this is good. So, Urban Artifact, there was a little bit of we'll call it a hubbub. Do people still call things hubbubs? There was a little bit of a kerfuffle around their Midwest fruit tarts. When they moved to their new process, let me go back just a little. Justin says, who the hell is making Turtles Brew? Did Rivertown reopen? No. Turtles Brew is a new company out of Westchester that has not really started production yet, as far as I know. I'll be on it as soon as they do. I'll try it, and I will give you guys a full rundown of if it's miserable. Did Rivertown reopen, though? Second half, not yet. That's where Muller Brew Barn is going. Twisted Teeny doesn't pack the same punch. Da, da, da. And Derek says thick. Yeah. So back to this one. When Urban Artifact moved to their new process, they got a centrifuge. They started making their Midwest fruit tarts better, more consistent. You didn't get some cans that had tons of pulp and stuff in them and some that didn't. They were all consistent, and you got more of a yield out of every batch. It's a better process to make a beer. However, there were a lot of people that did not like that their beer was not as thick anymore. I don't understand that. I think the thickness of beer is terrible. I don't want my beer to be pulpy. I don't like my orange juice pulpy. I don't like my beer pulpy. I don't get it. But people want it, and I do get that if somebody wants it, they should be able to get it. So this is an extra thick fire iron. It is also nitro, which I assume kind of helps with that mouthfeel a little bit. Who knows? So that's what this is. Hopefully, I say hopefully, knowing that it does, it's a sign that things are moving with some of those Midwest fruit tarts back to a different direction to what people are yelling about and wanting. That there is a core group of people that like thick beers, and they're listening to you, and you're going to get them. Derek says, so are the thick and normal different SKUs? Yes, they are different. They're different beers, which we'll see in just a second. They also changed the artwork on Fire Iron. No longer is it referring to a pistol, like a revolver. It is now a stick that you used to poke your fire. Whatever. I get it. I think this beer is thick. It is extra thick. Here's the regular, not extra thick. And to answer the question if they're different SKUs, well, it looks like it's the same SKU. But they are different beers. They are definitely different beers. Urban Artifact, Mango Lychee, American Fruit Tart. This is part of the Small Batch Society. There's going to be a couple of these here. So there's Mango Lychee. We have Passion Fruit Lime and Orange. This one does not have all of the artwork done yet, which is why it comes through white like this. But I assume it'll look something like this, just a different art. We have, this is good, Pickle. So the return of Pickle with way different artwork. I don't know if this is a bigger move with some artwork that we're going to see from Urban, or if this is part of an upcoming variety pack, or what exactly this represents. But I love Pickle. It is one of my favorite beers that's ever been brewed. I love how weird it is. I love how popular it became. I love it all. So I'm excited to see that come back in whatever form it does come back. Whoops, man, I'm bad at this today, guys. Let's see. This is a Pineapple Lychee from Urban Artifact. Again, American Fruit Tart. Pineapple Orange and Coconut, American Fruit Tart. Derek says, so thick, normal, where's light? The light fruit tarts were kind of, they were they turned into seltzers. That's where the light fruit tarts ended up. They did a test batch of light fruit tarts, and they sold good, but I think that they decided that the people that were buying them were the people that would just wanted seltzer. So they're buying the seltzer, and we will see if, well, I don't know how long those are going to stick around. I don't know if you'll get seltzers for a long time from Urban, but Teak, this is their year-round American Fruit Tart, the tropical American Fruit Tart. The exciting thing about this, and the weird, crazy thing about this, if you look down here on the bottom of it, this is a 19.2 fluid ounce can. So big old like stovepipe can. Which, okay, I don't know why. I don't know why it's necessary, but I like it. If you haven't had this beer, it's delicious. And it deserves to be in a 19.2 ounce can. But I thought that was fun. A couple more here. Wiedemann Blood Orange Blonde. I'm just going to say it. I hate Wiedemann's can artwork. I think the beers are just fine. I think the taproom is amazing. I don't like the artwork, but Blood Orange Blonde is it's fine. It's a good summer beer. We'll move on. And then Woodstone Creek. This was Cincinnati's first distillery, Ohio's first distillery post-Prohibition. Their quiet. They just kind of crank things out. I don't even know if the tasting room is currently open. I don't know how, post COVID any of that has worked, but labels are still coming through, so they are still open. I need to get out there and figure out what is happening. But if you haven't been, wait, I'll tell you if they're open, and then you can come out. But I assume they are. This is their Applejack. It's an apple brandy. If you don't know what Applejack is, it is aged in oak with oak chips for 2 years, pot distilled, no chill filter or color added. Part of their experimental series. So I assume we'll see some more experimentals coming along here in the near future. So that's that. My goodness, that's a lot of labels, you guys. I'm excited about some of it. I'm really curious about some of it. Shout out to Turtles Brew. I will get my hands on Turtles Brew as soon as I can. Maybe I'll take it to. That sounds like a good Shift Beers show. Maybe I'll just show up for Shift Beers one day with a bunch of Turtles Brew, and we can save turtles together. So that's all the excitement from the label approvals. We could talk. I mean, do you guys want to talk about BCs, or do you want to save that for tomorrow for Truth Beer Consequences? I'm excited to see as this Cincinnati beer scene, as all of this stuff keeps growing and evolving, what that means for new breweries coming about. Marco says, talk about the big thing. Tim says, do tell. So, I mean, BC's is becoming a brewery. They're getting rid of all of the packaging and becoming a brewery. A brewery and a couple tap rooms. Justin said, I thought Frank was opening a brewery. I shouldn't say anything about that before I actually talked to somebody about it, but I heard he was not involved at all with the Lucky Turtle anymore. Maybe somebody can correct me on that if somebody's aware. Marco says, I thought you were going to talk about the big thing. I don't know what the big thing is that you're referring to, if it's not the fact that BC's is opening a brewery. Tim says, can they still maintain the retail front? No, not in the same way that it is now. You can't. They're not going to be a bottle shop anymore. They will still have the draft side of what they do will still exist because it'll be guest taps. They'll have guest taps in addition to their own beer, but all of the packaged stuff is going away, which is why when you go there now, that selection is getting less and less and less. They're just slowly selling it all off. So that's kind of why all that's been happening. So yeah, that's that. Marco, I don't know what you're talking about. Justin says, wait, what did I miss? Oh, the big thing, the event at PC's. I thought we talked about that. So tomorrow, if anybody doesn't already know about this, I assume the people that listen to this show also are aware that tomorrow, Truth Beer Consequences, the fry. Okay, we'll talk about those things. Tomorrow, Truth Beer Consequences is doing a live version of their show at BC's Montgomery. I assume around 6 o'clock. I'll be there. We're gonna hang out and we're gonna drink and we're gonna heckle Marco and show him kind of what it's like to be heckled during your show. Marco says the fry place out of Listerman and food going into Grainworks. I mean, that's so the food going into Grainworks has been a long time coming. Mama Bear's mac and cheese, and they're opening in Grainworks. That's all the news that there is to that. The fry place going out of Listerman. I have not talked to Rachel, who owns the fry place, as you call it. I did stop in right before they announced that they were leaving, and she didn't say anything about it. And then, like, the next day or 2 days later, she just randomly posted that they were no longer open in Listerman's, and stay tuned. And then Listerman's followed it up with a post saying, we don't have food anymore. Stay tuned. Alexandria being disassociated with their food partner too. I heard that one was coming. Rumors, and it's hard for some people to find a place that really kind of jives with them. On one hand, if I was a brewery owner, I wouldn't want to own my own restaurant and operate that. Um, and then on the other hand, if I was a brewery owner, I wouldn't want to deal with somebody else and rely on somebody else to operate a restaurant in my brewery. Um, I don't know. Marco says she is the sausage queen. She is a former sausage queen. She is not the current reigning sausage queen. So I don't know. Food partners and breweries continue to be an issue for everybody involved. It's hard to find people that you trust that will stick around. And as a food partner, it's hard to find a place that you trust and want to exist within. I think that kind of sums it up for everybody. Yeah. Anybody is welcome on my show to talk about their food partner experiences. To put it lightly. I don't know what the answer is for a lot of people. There are some places where Sean says food is incredibly difficult in-house too. Labor shortage is real. There isn't a good solution for a lot of people. There's some people that have just lucked out. Mad Tree with Catch a Fire. It's just that relationship has just worked so well for them. But then there's other you look at Rheingeist even with their partner with what was the original place called Sartre or whatever, and then they had the Coney place, and it's things just keep changing, and that's Rheingeist, Braxton with their food partner next door, trying to figure out how to make that happen, and trying to maybe bring some of that in house, and it just nobody's immune to it. When you find a partner that works, you're already kind of just lucky to make it happen that way. Sean says $20 an hour for dishwashers these days. I might be able to make that worth it. I could drive up to Nostalgia and wash dishes for $20 an hour. Can I drink on the job? That's the big question. If I can drink on the job and make $20 an hour, I might make the drive up there a few days a week to wash dishes for you guys. It'll be fine for a lot of these guys. You look at somewhere like Alexandria, and if you get the right food in there, there is no reason that it can't do amazing. You just have to get the right person in there. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. The labels went a long time, guys. We're already almost at an hour for the show. And that means that my beer is going to start getting warm. Joe says I made $6.75 an hour in 2007. I only washed dishes for a very short period of my life. I think I was making somewhere around $8 though. I don't remember. But we got tipped out at the end of the night too from the waitresses, and that was awesome. Yeah. It's a weird world we live in a lot of different ways, not just the labor shortage, but just everything. Nobody really wants to do work like that, is what it seems like to me, which, not that I blame people for it. It's not always fun washing dishes, but I made $3.25 an hour. I think the least I ever made might have been, God, I can't remember how old minimum wage was, but I want to say it was 4 something. I need to hang on. I'm gonna Google it just out of curiosity. It was, if I can figure out the year in my head. Let's see. I'm gonna guess $725 maybe. That was if your gross sales were under 305,000. So yeah, I probably 725. Tim says 235 was minimum when I started working, but I'm old. Yeah, jeez. Yeah, as a server, it's a little different. It's hard to put that into the same category, depending on where you're working. But the world has changed. That is for sure. We will wrap things up, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for having a drink with me. We'll do this again next week. And there's the phone ringing again. If that's Marco calling right when I hit the theme music. Marco, come on, man. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place, same way to listen to the show. You guys get the routine at this point. We'll see you then. And thank you very much. If you want to support this show in a different way than just hanging out and listening, you can do it by going to thegnarlygnome.com/support. I promise that there is some new stuff coming for Patreon supporters. It'll be fun. So stay tuned for that. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night. See you tomorrow at BC's. Call Marco 17 times during his show tomorrow while he's trying to talk to other people. That's what I'm going to do. And when they're ending.